What you're watching right now is me fighting and beating the 7th and final phase of the final boss of RaBi-RiBi. If you don't know what RaBi-RiBi is, it's a Metroidvania bullet hell developed by Crisker and Game. It was released in 2015. Not many people know about this game, even though it's highly rated, a 10 out of 10 on Steam in fact. So I wanted to take this time today to talk about RaBi-RiBi and why I love it so much. There's a lot I can say about this game, but I'll start with a general statement. Its design. RaBi-RiBi is designed in such a way to be nearly perfect. It is so close to perfect, in fact, that I can't really think of any way to improve it, other than a very small handful of things. On the topic of design, I want to mention a few things that are either amazing mechanics, choices, or just well done. Firstly, the look and music. If you've been paying attention to the final boss battle in the background, you probably have noticed the music by now. Listen to it. Notice how it's epic with a hint of sadness. And it does it all without an orchestra or a band. It feels magical in such a way that's not something you find in many games. I especially love the bells in this piece. Secondly, the look, the aesthetic. It's almost all pixel art, which I can appreciate. The animations are nice too. The real reason I like this is because of the next two design decisions. No loading screens, and the restart button. The game is fairly simple in graphics and sound, which allows the game to literally have no loading screens. Going to and from different maps isn't seamless, but it's true that there are no loading screens. The better side of this coin is the restart button, as well as the death screen. Every time you enter a boss battle, you auto-save just before entering the arena. Whenever you die, you get sent to a continue screen, and when you press yes, you start right outside the boss arena. This process can be done extremely quickly, allowing you to get right back into the fight in no time at all. Then there's the restart button. When you pause, you can press 2 buttons to instantly reload your last save. This right here is fucking genius, because RaBi-RiBi is a hard game. If you get a bad start, you can just instantly reload your save and try for a better one. Or if you know you're not going to make it to the end of the fight, just reload and not waste your time. The next reason I love this game is balance. Every boss in this game, although increasingly difficult, is fair. There's no such thing as an unfair fight, except in impossible mode, and if you don't collect crucial items. Every fight you go into, you will have the tools to beat it without taking damage. The fifth reason is progression, combat, and skill inclusion. Starting with progression, in RaBi-RiBi you don't level up. Instead, you have to explore the world and collect items. Every item you collect goes a little ways to making you more powerful and helps you get through the next boss fight. Certain items are locked behind bosses, making the next boss harder and stalling you from getting overpowered. I absolutely adore and love this system. I feel like if this was combined with a traditional leveling system, this could make for a great design tool that prevents overleveling. Next, combat. The combat requires genuine skill to pull off and do good. Although it's similar in difficulty to something like Touhou, they're difficult in different ways. In RaBi-RiBi, you have many different modes of movement, and if you've ever played a bullet hell game, you know movement is important. But if you don't know, in bullet hell games, half the game is dodging large amounts of bullets. Dodging is what makes these games difficult, because it requires very precise movement. In Touhou, movement isn't that complicated, but it's difficult due to its life system. In RaBi-RiBi, movement is extremely complicated, raising the overall difficulty. Side-to-side movement, jumping, double jump, falling, quick drop, rolling, air dash, wall jump, and sliding. All of these things are used to dodge attacks, and executing them requires skill. Thirdly, skill inclusion. I didn't know what to name this, but what I mean by this is that there are lots of secret mechanics that allow high-skilled players to abuse them and make the game easier, harder, play it differently, or break the game sequence. And lastly, difficulty. RaBi-RiBi is hard, and not Dark Souls hard. I mean, I played Bloodborne to relax after I played RaBi-RiBi hard. I started on hard difficulty, and, well, you can see in the background. I didn't beat a single boss on my first run until 3/4 into my second playthrough, which was on hell difficulty. RaBi-RiBi has a large skill ceiling, and players who aren't good at the game will suffer. But I genuinely think the true RaBi-RiBi experience is the hard one. I want to end this on a story about why I love the difficulty of this game. When I first started, it wasn't that hard. I didn't think it would be either. Didn't look like it, so I chose hard difficulty. I got through the tutorial and hit my first real boss, and I got my ass kicked. As I went through the game, I found myself getting kicked around at every corner, but I was not deterred. In fact, the difficulty made me even more adamant about beating the game. Then I got to Chapter 5. In Chapter 5, you fight 4 bosses back to back without any way to restock on your only 5 healing items. I had to keep reloading my save to ration out my healing items more and more. All the time, I thought it was impossible to beat it, but I also kept telling myself, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I did it. After 2 weeks of constant trying, I did it. And after that, I finally felt motivation. You see, for years, I had been lacking the motivation to do anything other than sit in my room, play games, and watch YouTube. I even dropped out of school because I just couldn't bring myself to go. And now, after years of this, I finally had the motivation to do something with my life. To look for a job so I could get a GED, so I could have the life I dream of. That is why I love RaBi-RiBi. And this is why you should play it. Thank you for listening to me rant, and as always, I hope you enjoy. I'll let you watch the gameplay in the background, and just watch this and listen, please. It's so amazing.